Lisa Lanier is our official attorney of this program. She's joining us to talk about this dog that lived in the desert for a time. But one quick thing before we get there. Now, I don't know how much she's going to want to say about this, but Chris Demm follows Lisa Lanier on social media.
Yeah.
And Chris Demm says you had a very, very steamy Valentine's Day. Is that the right way to describe it? What can we say?
I just replaced my bathtub. And so, I had a Valentine's bubble bath instead of going out. We were supposed to go out and just weren't feeling it. I've been a busy couple of weeks and canceled a dinner reservation and had a bubble bath instead. My mom moved in with us several years ago, and we had to rip out our bathtub to make we gave her the master bedroom because it was on the first floor, and she lived with us for a couple of years as her health declined. And so we just now gotten it renovated, just finished. So it was maiden voyage in the bathtub.
Well, cheers. Well, all right. Crack a bottle of champagne on that thing.
No pictures.
We had double bacon burgers from Freddy's, and I was in bed by 6:45. How about that?
Yeah.
My wife wants to install a grab bar in our shower.
For who?
For me.
In case he falls.
Well, that's not a bad. When my mom moved in, we had lots of that kind of thing.
There you go. Maybe you could sell the old grab bar that
Yeah,
your
if you
mom
have any old grab bars.
They can be repurposed.
I'm sure it's good quality.
Oh, well. A lot of romance around here.
Yeah, there is.
Of course there is.
Sexy steel.
Now,
the hard, cold steel. Chris Demm's bathroom.
here's the story we called you about. It's an animal story, and we had read about it a few weeks ago. There was a dog named Ghost in Nevada, out in Henderson, Nevada, outside of Las Vegas, had been seen traveling with a pack of coyotes. And so an animal rights group said, after they saw an injury on its face, they said the coyotes may start to turn on the dog, so we need to trap the dog. They did. It made local news and then national news. They called him Ghost, and $14,000 was raised for his medical care. And while the story went viral and was seen on the news, the Cabada family in Vegas said, oh, my gosh, that's our dog, Hades. The Lord of the Underworld, Hades, was the name of the dog. They took photos to the animal rights group and said, that's our dog. Now, he hadn't been chipped, and his vaccination record was not up to date. And there had been an assumption that the dog had been abandoned on the side of the road, and that's how he got hooked up with the coyotes. So when they went to get the dog, there was actually police presence involved because the woman in charge of the animal rights group said, this is not your dog, and even if it is, you left him abandoned, so you can't have this dog back. Well, they do have the dog back, but the woman from the animal rights group said, we're going to fight and get this dog back. We're taking control of this dog. Is there any possibility she can do this, Lisa Lanier?
It's going to depend on whether the animal rights lady actually files a legal action, because so far she hasn't done that. She's just threatening. It's really an interesting situation because the dogs, to me, don't really look that much alike. And I don't know if the dog's nose markings change as the dog ages, and they say it's because maybe he was out in the wild and he was in all these fights. And but I posted a picture of the two dogs on my Instagram, Lanier Law Group Instagram and Facebook, of both of them side by side. And to me, they look very, very different. Now, it's, years apart, and the age of the dog has changed a bit. Maybe I think the whole process, has been going on for about a year, so not years and years.
That's right.
And, but to me, the nose is what's really so different. The one dog has a much more black nose. The other one has a much more speckled sort of a nose. But the idea was, this family said, hey, the dog jumped the fence. Our fence was too short. Dog jumped the fence. We couldn't get him back. He was living with these coyotes. These rescuers say, hey, we rescued this dog. It's a different dog. It got really heated and ugly when the family, this Cabada's family, went to go get the dog. One of the animal rescuers ended up briefly in handcuffs. It was a whole big police scene. One of the animal rescuers took off with the dog in her car, and then the poor dog ended up, there's a picture on the inside edition of the dog in the front seat of the police cruiser looking all dejected like he's under arrest.
Wow.
And, it was just a whole drama thing played out.
Yeah.
But what it boils down to is, a dog is property. And so a dog is still your dog, even if it's not in your possession, unless you intentionally abandon it. And here, they didn't intentionally abandon it. So if they can prove it's their dog, it's their dog. That's
But the proof is the pictures. That's all they have, and they don't look alike. Except now, is this proof the dog did run up to the kids and wag its tail and act like it was a? Does that any kind of proof?
That's what convinced everyone. That's why they said, "Hey, that's their dog," even though it's hard to tell by the markings. But I don't know that that's really. If a dog likes kids, the dog's going to run up and love on the kids. I think regardless of whether it knows the kids necessarily or not.
No, you're right.
I wonder if
we've all seen pictures of people, sadly, whose teenagers have started running with gangs. They change their appearance.
Facial marking.
Yeah, living in the wild, you might get a black nose.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But I wonder if the family has an old bed,
Officers
a brush
took
that hasn't been
custody
thrown
of the
away.
dog, and they examined the dog and the proof that the family sent, and they concluded it was the family's dog.
Oh, they did.
They said the dog had been in so many fights and things out with the Coyotes and had so many infected wounds and stuff like that it changed its appearance a little bit.
Well, Dave's wondering if there's a brush or a
DNA
bed
match.
where they could do DNA testing, like some old fur of the dog that they could get out of a brush. And
There's always some around a house.
Would they do a test, do you think, Lisa?
That's a great idea because, DNA testing is not that expensive anymore.
The
So
families-
it's possible that they could do that. And maybe if that woman files a lawsuit from the rescue group, then maybe that'll be what she has to do because she's going to now have to prove because the possession is now with the original owner, supposed original owner. And so for this other lady from the rescue to get it back, she's going to have to file a lawsuit and prove that it's not the family, the Cavadas family's dog.
You know what I haven't been able to find, and a caller pointed this out. Did they use the $14,000 raised from concerned citizens to pay the vet bills, the vet bills for the dog, or did the family cough up the money to pay for it, saying, hey, it's our dog, it's our responsibility? Do you know who paid?
I think the GoFundMe money was paid to do the veterinary care needed because I think most of the veterinary care was already well underway when the TV. What happened was, the dog made the TV, made the news, and when that happened, that's when the family recognized it. I think the vet care was already well underway at that point.
I do too. Wow.
Well, they should split that with the rescue group. The rescue group should get some of that money.
Oh, I
shouldn't
agree.
they?
I
mean, really, it's the dog's money.
Well,
it's not the families. And
no,
it's not the rescue
I think the
group.
rescue group definitely gets to keep the money. In my mind, I mean, they paid for the dog's vet
Pay
bills.
for the vet bills and then let them have
Whatever's
the money.
left over they should get the money
and use it towards that
Yeah,
DNA
for sure.
testing.
Yes, and hey, if she files the suit, use it
If
toward
that
the
family
DNA.
is convinced that it's their dog,
Yeah, she sure can.
then they should want to have a DNA test.
Oh, I agree.
And if they don't, if they say, "Oh, we don't have anything," well, did you look?
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust them.
Let's prove it. That's exactly right. I love it. It's a really interesting story.
I'm
Now,
not convinced on this family.
You're not convinced. No, me neither. It's a what a
You think
twist.
they're clout chasing, or you think they really do think it's their
I think
dog?
they lost a dog, and I don't think it's theirs. I think
I think they really think it's their dog.
Yeah, but it might not be because of the.
Yeah, they may think it is, but it may
To
not.
me, it looks so different. I don't know enough about a dog's nose. Can it change that much? But
Me
to me,
either.
the dog's nose is the key there. It looks so different.
And as you said, it's not like it's from puppyhood to 4 years old. It's a year. It's only been a year.
It was basically a young adult dog when it jumped the fence, I think. And I sure hope this Cavadas family gets a taller fence, or we're going to be right back here again.
Well, right. I mean, the coyotes are still out there roving.
Get that taste of the freedom.
Yeah.
Coyotes might come to their house looking for it.
Might be. That's
Where'd
right.
you go?
Hey, Ghost.
What are you doing inside?
Ghost, you want to come out and run?
That's Hades.
Oh, look at you living in a house,
Sorry, I'm Hades now.
bitch.
All right.
Now, one more quick story, and I am on the side of the city here. I'm sure everybody else will be on the side of the person. There is the city of San Diego is upset at a man who has taken it upon himself to do something to help the city. There's some rundown stairs that lead out to the beach in San Diego, and it had been neglected for a long time. So a guy took it upon himself to sand it down and paint the stairs, and everybody agreed, oh, it looks great. They love you've upkept, and he did it at his own expense. But now the city is saying, that's not your place to do it. Some local residents are saying, we love what he did.
Clearly they want it to be a better place. Yeah, I think it's pretty nice. It's beautiful.
It saddens me because we live in a world of, unfortunately, a lot of divisiveness. And this is just something very simple, a community project that somebody wanted to freshen up, make better for the neighborhood, the community. And instead, they're getting whiplashed for trying to do something right, and that breaks my heart.
The city of San Diego versus rogue painter. I'm on the city side because I'm always seeing paintings like on the back of buildings that everybody here goes, oh, I love it. You know, all of a sudden there's Bob Marley. I said, oh, no.
That's one thing, but you can't touch city property.
That's
if you're
what
a
I'm
resident.
saying. I agree. You can't do it. It's like those guys that go around and fill potholes, which, you know, on the surface things is nice, but the city's, no, you can't. You're not allowed to do that. What are your thoughts, Lisa?
So I don't think they would prosecute him, but he did not follow the rules, and that there are ways you can actually apply. There's a little app that the city of San Diego has that you can request that work be done by the city, and there's also a way that you can get a permit to do a public project. And he just didn't follow those rules. He says you go on that app and it never happens. You put a request in, it never happens.
Right.
So he just took it upon himself to do it. The problem is, the city's worried that he used the right grade of paint so that it will last, or is it going to end up being worse because he used an inferior paint that won't hold up to those elements? It really didn't. I saw the before pictures. It didn't look so bad to me before. I mean, it didn't look great, but it didn't look so bad. It still had a fair amount of paint on it. It was just weathered. But it looks great now that he's done it. I mean, he absolutely, it's pristine white. It looks like he put it on really thick. But and if you have people going rogue like this with painting, what happens when they start painting them purple or pink or yellow or something, and people don't like it? Right. So that's the issue. But I don't think they're going to prosecute him. But I think, and they actually said that there may be a way for him to go back and show, and they're looking at what materials he used. They might give him like a retroactive permit, so that it has their official approval if they like the paint he used.
The grade of paint, exactly. Can I do anything about these buildings being painted with artists and stuff like that?
No, the owners
they're
are
getting
paying for it.
permits to do that. Yeah, they're actually doing that legit.
But as a citizen, I don't like seeing like happy people on the side of buildings.
They're Nirvana baby.
I don't want the Nirvana baby on the side of the building. I like it gray. I don't want
Industrial.
I want it industrial.
Prison-like.
When did we start putting the Nirvana baby on the side of an earned building? I mean, what in the world? What country is this? My gosh. Don't we want... Yeah, I want rebar.
The worst thing I ever heard was we're a city of art.
Oh, no.